Well, good evening or good afternoon. This is Angela Hooper Menifield of Menifield and Associates with your HR moment. Today is Friday, March 27th, 2020. So we are at the end of, for me anyway, and I'm sure a lot of other people in New Jersey, New York area, 2 full weeks of being at home. And to say it's been an interesting couple of weeks would be an understatement. I spent a lot of time this week just checking in on clients, friends, relatives, because a few things that I've come to understand through just life experiences and then some of my work is that oftentimes people will need help and won't ask for it. I can also say that I'm guilty of being one of those people, and so I want to be able to help in those circumstances. I'm also a part of a lot of Facebook groups, many of them for supervisors, leaders, and some of the groups, everybody in the group are like people like myself. So we're helping these type of individuals. But some of these groups are inundated with people who are in those roles and they're looking for help and guidance and support. And to tell you that the activity in some of these groups has been more rampant, more concerning would be an understatement. And so, as we embark upon this weekend, I thought it might be really important for me just to take a little time and talk a little bit about self care. Often, in the midst of a crisis, especially those of us with that personality to jump in, take charge, we're solutions oriented, we began to push aside some of the basic things or habits that we had created to ensure that we had self care. And I just want to encourage you, number one, to maintain that routine. There's a few reasons why. So when doing behavioral assessments, one of the things that I help people do is, have self-awareness, know who they are, how they show up. But a key component of these assessments is showing people how they show up under stress. Many of us, and again, I'm one of those people, there becomes a shift in our behavior under stress. I align it to the thinking when someone says to you when you go off or you get upset, like, "Ooh, who was that?" Right? Because basically what they're telling you is, "I don't recognize you because this is not how you normally behave." Well, you under stress may be a different person. And so if you don't understand what that looks like, or your team or the family does not understand what that looks like, then guess what? It's going to manifest itself and create some confusion. So, being in the space that I am in, I am highly concerned for a lot of people. I'm concerned for marriages right now because guess what? If you're not used to working every day, all day with your spouse, there could be some angst in the house. Sometimes we try to act like things don't bother us that do. We're trying not to sweat the small stuff. We have not equipped ourselves to have those discussions. And so by the time this is over, and in some places, like I think New Jersey and New York, we got a good month and a half before we're out of the house. How do you manage that, right? Then with our kids, many of us are now home with our children. The people that we packed up early in the morning on our way to work, got rid of, and then didn't see them again to the end of the day. And, it was all about, so tell me about your day. How was your day, right? Now we're having to instruct them, help them with their struggles. So again, these are stressful times. And let's not forget those of us who are either working for managers who have no clue how to manage us remotely, or we're the manager that has no clue how to manage remotely. So again, all these added things before we even talk about what's the real reason why we're in the house or remote working, there's a real virus out there and people are dying. And if you watch the news long enough, and if you're like me, I don't watch the news a lot for obvious reasons. One, because it's just, I feel like in general it's a downer. I read the news, but I definitely don't watch it a lot. But I've been, tuning into daily updates because I want to know what's happening in my area, my region, and get updates. And some days it's just rough. It's hard to listen to the news, right? So you got all this coming at you. And then you say to yourself, I don't have time for self care. I don't have time to unwind because I'm working all day. I have to do these multiple briefings. My manager is calling. Then I have to brief my team. I have to help my kids with their work. I still have to cook dinner. I have to do this, that, and the other. Take me at my word when I say you will wish you did. Because one of the things that self care helps us with too is building up our immune system. So, a few tips how to maintain that. One, build a routine. Again, we talked about routines earlier when we first started talking about remote working, because I think maintaining a schedule and a routine can help you become more productive. I've also heard from many of my friends that I've talked to today and my clients that I'm working 12-hour days now. So the time that I used to even need to drive to work if I was a commuter, I'm up on my laptop and I'm going nonstop. No, you're working more, and it's probably even upsetting your family, the people who are trying to carry the load while you're at that laptop all day. So, self care, that's adequate sleep. That's trying to eat well. That's doing things that are fun. Taking regular breaks. For me, massages, of course, can't do those now, right? But, maybe you can work that out at home. I don't know. But maybe it's a bubble bath. Maybe it's reading a good book. A lot of entertainers have been doing concerts, live on different platforms. Maybe it's dancing. Um, Everybody has to figure out what that thing is for them. And even if you knew what your thing used to be, maybe you can't do it anymore now because, again, so many things are closed. The point here is not what you do, it's that you do. So, in other words, it is imperative that you maintain some type of self care. And so, I'm going to beg of you to figure out what are some things you can do even in the midst of some of the confinements, right? So for me, I like to get out. I like to go to movies. I like concerts and things like that. Well, guess what? Things I had tickets for, they're not available. I like to travel. Well, I can't travel right now. So what can I do? Well, a good way for me to release stress and, endorphins is, working out. Now, hadn't been consistent in a while, but building that into my schedule, talking to friends, FaceTiming people, checking on people, I actually find it therapeutic to help people, which is probably why I do the type of work that I do. My point is, it doesn't matter what you do, but you have to take care of yourself. We've all heard the announcement, if we've ever been on an airplane, right? In the event that there's a decrease in oxygen on the plane, they said the masks are going to fall, but they always tell us to put our mask on first. If you are not taking care of yourself, I promise you, you will reach a point that you are no good to anyone. And so I want to encourage you, and if you have not accepted the reality that for some of us, not again all of us, but this is about to go on a lot longer than we may have imagined, then figure out now what you can do to proactively, again, provide self-care. So plan it, put it on the calendar, make it important. Get an accountability buddy. If you want somebody to be accountable for on your eating and exercise, jump on my, send me a note. I have a little private Facebook group. There's only 6 of us in there. But we're doing that every day. We're holding ourselves accountable. We're checking in because, again, it doesn't take a lot, but every little bit helps. There's a lot of free trainings and different things out there. Utilize your time doing the things that refuel you. Because when your cup is empty, you won't have anything left to give. And again, we love people, we love our teens, we love our family, we love our kids. But guess what? If your cup is empty, one, you put yourself in jeopardy of being more susceptible to sickness. And it could be something just as simple as allergies, right? This is that time of year because flowers are blooming and things like that. Or it could be something more serious. So take care of yourself, get plenty of rest, exercise, schedule these things. But at the end of the day, you maintain self-care by making it a priority, telling other people it's a priority for you, having accountability in it, and then doing what you say you're going to do. Last but not least, don't expect perfection. None of us are perfect. We will have good days and bad days, but establishing a routine and doing that, I think, will take you a long way. So, I'll finish by saying today, I talked to one of my favorite clients today, and she was telling me about all the reasons why she couldn't join our mastermind group. And by the time we finished, she was like, oh no, I need this, right? And truth be told, I told her too, I need it just as bad as you guys do, right? We all need to be in communities of like-minded people, supporting one another and caring for one another. So, again, today is Friday. I hope you guys made the best of your week. Focus on the things you can control, not the things you can't. Love yourselves, love those around you. Be kind, be generous, stay safe. And again, try. I know some days it's not as easy as others, but try really hard not to stress out about these things. It just is what it is. Do your best to take care of the things you can take care of. Love you lots. And I look forward to seeing you next week. And if I can do anything to help you or your organization at this time, feel free to reach out to me. I promise you that I will do whatever I can to support you right now. Take care and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.